Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of The Return. This movie is directed by Umberto Pasolini, who previously directed Still Life, and the movie stars Ray Fiennes and Juliette Binoche. Now, the plot of this movie is about the story of the Odyssey, written by Homer way back in the day. It's a Greek story, Greek epic. And it's about a man named Odysseus who leaves home. He leaves his wife and child behind, and he goes to fight in the Trojan Wars. After that, he goes on this long journey trying to get back home, but along the way, he meets all these fantastical creatures. He defies the god Poseidon. He meets Cyclops. He goes to Hades. He does all these fantastical things. Now, for many of you, if you're about my age, then you probably remember this movie with Armand Desante, Eric Roberts, Christopher Lee, and Vanessa Williams. Really good miniseries. It's about 3.5 hours long, but that was my introduction to the Odyssey. And then, of course, I read this story in high school, but for me, visually, the movie is more entertaining. So, The Return is not about his entire journey, but as the title states, his return home. So this movie is the second half of that story. It's Odysseus returning home, finding out what happened to his kingdom, his family, his wife, everything he held dear. Now, going into this movie, I saw Ray Fiennes and I'm like, I'm there. Whatever this movie is, I'm going to see this. And then I learned it was about the Odyssey. And I was like, oh man, to see Ray Fiennes, go through all those trials and tribulations and all that emotion and all these things, it's going to be awesome. And then I found out that it was just about his return home. It was the second half of the story. And I was like, okay, this could be good because that part, just like Kill Bill Volume 2, is more about the emotion. It's more about the dialogue and less about the action, the adventure, the fantastical elements. So I saw the movie and it was really good. There were things I would like to have changed, but it is exactly what you'd expect it to be. Now, let me start with the acting in this movie. Of course, the acting is great, from both Ray Fiennes and Juliette Binoche, who previously starred together in The English Patient. Now, if you've not seen the cast for that movie, check out the cast. It's incredible. I saw The English Patient a long time ago when my mom first rented it, around the time it first came out. And I thought it was long and boring. I didn't really understand it. And as I got older, I watched it again and I was like, wow, that's deep. And that's the best way I can summarize The Return. It's deep. It's the emotion. It's a character carrying this guilt and this grief of abandoning his family, of learning what has become of them, and just dealing with the consequences of his decisions and his actions. Now, Ray Fiennes, I've always said this, and I believe, John Campea said it first, and I've always held true to it, is that Ray Fiennes is the greatest living actor today to never win an Academy Award. Crazy. He's Voldemort. He's this character. He was in Coriolanus. He's in, the Marigold Hotel. He's in so many things that, it's astonishing that he hasn't won an Academy Award. And this movie is just more proof to that, of the dedication this man is willing to go for a role. He reminds me a lot of Daniel Day-Lewis, where he's so committed to these parts. I don't know if he's as method as he is, but he's incredible. He's incredible. Since I first discovered him in the early 90s, he's great in every single thing that he's in. Even if it's silly comedies like The Ratcatcher on Netflix, or some random movie you'll see online. If he's in it, you're going to get a really good performance. So Ray Fiennes, he's always great. I'll see anything he's ever in. Juliette Binoche, again, I would put her in probably my top 10, if not top 5 favorite actresses, because she's incredible. If you've never seen her movie Blue, which is a French movie of the Tres Couleurs French trilogy, check it out. It's a little sad, as the title is called, but great movie. Also, just like I think it's Emily Watson, everything she's in, really good. And to play, these grieving and these hurt, married couple that have been separated for about 20 years. It's all there on screen. And they give the two best performances of the movie. The rest of the actors, they were good because they were all lesser known actors, but even though I just felt they didn't give enough time to the side characters. Like the son, granted, yeah, he's the son. He's going to play a major role. He was good as a boy who grew up without his father. And you're going to have those scenes, of course, where, you have a son who's angry at his dad, a dad who's upset and regretful and grieving and just upset of the choices he made and what he missed out on. So those moments are always great. The side characters, you have all these male suitors vying for Penelope's hand. You have the main guy that you really want to see. And this movie has so many supporting characters that even though the movie tries to make you really hate them and get you to remember which character is which one's the bully, which one's the, blonde-haired entitled guy, so on and so on. By the end of the movie, when they all get their comeuppance, it's not really that, tasty, if you will. It doesn't last very long. It's short and sweet, and you're kind of like, all that build-up, all that character development, if you want to call it that, for a quick fate, it just doesn't work for me. And because this movie is about 2 hours long, and it's the second half of Odysseus' journey, they have to drag some parts. And part of it does drag, but it's an emotional movie. You're going to get emotion in this one, whereas you would have gotten action in the other half, so to speak. And so because this one is about the emotion, yet it's not as exciting as the whole journey would have been, I'm going to give The Return a B. The acting is where it's at in this movie, but because of the emotions and the feeling having to carry this movie, it can be a little boring at times. So until next time, guys, see ya.